What's going on, people? This is Kiss Shorty Gaming Nation in the building. As the topic says, what is a traditional leadership standpoint? What is that? And today, it's probably not gonna be a long video. I don't plan on this being a long video. Hold on one second, fixing my controller right quick. Long video. And also have another video dropping tomorrow. Uh, like, share, subscribe to that. Make sure you view that. Hold on, let me go. Let me do something over here. Fix up my camera right quick. Uh, okay, here we go. Um, Working on setting up my room to be more suited and booted for streaming. When it gets set up, you're gonna see the beauty of it, all right? Um. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Click the like button. Comment in the comment section. If the comment section gets too goofy, I'm gonna just shut down the comment section. Oh my god. Well, I had it unlisted when I was public. Anyway, this is Kiss Shorty Gaming Nation in the building. Here streaming live. Click the like, click the share, subscribe, comment in the comment section. If the comment section gets too rowdy, I'm going to switch it to subscriber chat. All right. There's a lot of times when I'm trying to speak on something that I believe in and that's important, I allow the trolls to distract me and shit. Even though, as you in my house, I can respond to the chat because the chat is responding to me. If you respond to me with disrespect, I should be able to respond back to you with disrespect because you're in my house. All right. But in today's topic, we're going to talk about what is leadership from a traditional standpoint. We're going to break it down, and as Angry Man says, break it down so it can be forever broken. I'm going to say break it down to the very molecule, to the very soul, to the essence of what this is. All right? What's going on, Ross? Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Sit back and listen to the ride. Listen to the show. Enjoy the ride. All right. What is a traditional leadership style? Uh, Traditional leadership focuses on the leader's authority and control. Right? Traditional leadership, power. The leader at the top has the most power and makes the decision for the organization. Approach, top down, with the leader telling others what to do. Goals. The leader goals are the objectives. The leader goals and objectives. Objectives are priority. Communication. The leader tells others what to do and doesn't always listen to their feedback. That's what I grew up always understanding what a traditional leadership is and what a traditional role is as the man in the household, right? As a traditional man in the household, you protect, you provide, and you primarily protect and provide, right? The traditional role of that woman is she cooks, she cleans, she submits to your authority, right? The reason why in today's day and age, women don't like traditional masculinity or traditional role, or they call it controlling and toxic, is because they don't like the idea that their designation is to follow the man. They're second to the man. You feel me? Oh, what's going on, Pookie VR? Respect my channel, respect the show, like, share, and subscribe. Listen to what I got to say, right? So, what do women have subtly, sneakily have done is convince you men to be servant leaders, not traditional leaders. See, what they call traditional leadership, as I just read, they'll say it's toxic and controlling. What they've got y'all to do is servant leadership, which is, let me see, let me read the definition of the servant leadership style. Hold on 1 second. I just had it here. Servant leadership style is, let me see, you can cash out me. I think my cash app is in the description of my box. Hold on, I'm gonna post this stuff in the chat, alright? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Haven't monetized my channel yet. For right now, you can donate to my PayPal. Give me 1 second. On YouTube, well, I don't have the subscriber or the memberships, the super sticker stuff yet. I have to get to 500 subscribers to get to that. But normally, if I get to 500 subscribers, they'll give you like a super chat option in the chat and stuff. Give me 1 second. But then I do have a PayPal. What's going on here? So let me do this way. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna post it into the chat. All right. So there that go. All right. So what a servant leadership is, right? Let me type it up in the Google chat. I want to get the clear definition. And I'm going to link it to what happy wife, happy life is. Because that's what servant leadership is, basically. Ship style. Okay, servant leadership is a leadership style that focuses on serving the needs of others rather than seeking personal power. It's characterized by humility, selflessness, and commitment to growth of others. Now, focus this one. Prioritizing others. Servant leaders put the needs of others above their own. They focus on improving the lives of their employees, organizations, and community. Servant leadership. I'm gonna put this. What's the problem with that? Right? If I'm the leadership, right, and I am not putting myself first, and it's my responsibility to keep the community, and I don't prioritize me before the community or those employees or that woman, right? I'm going to eventually die, and I can no longer be of service to that community. And there's a reason why I, the man, is in leadership. There's a reason why the boss is the CEO of that company. There's a reason why the manager became the manager of a Shake Shack or a McDonald's. Excuse me for my stuffy nose, right? The reason being is because that leader or that person knows more than the employees. That person got more intelligence than the employee. That person was smart enough and more intelligent enough and is the top of the top. That's why. You see what I'm saying? And if that leader is going to prioritize human beings who are chaotic in nature, because human beings are chaotic in nature. There's some human beings that are not meant. Yeah, I do have a job, Pookie. Yes, sir. That's why I do have a job, right? This is why certain human beings don't have the intelligence to be in that position of leadership. You understand what I'm saying? And when you try to put the best interest of that community before yourself, right? A lot of times you're putting low IQ, low brow, low intelligent people needs and wants. And that is not a good idea because people. So, say example, you have the LGBT community, you have all these all inclusive intersectional groups running around. Try to service their delusions. What's going to happen? What we have been doing, right? We have been putting the best interest into um, the left, and look how big and dangerous the left has become. You have little kids, children who are 14 and 15 years old, that they were born a boy or a male, and their parents supported them into becoming trans. So the parents gave them beta blockers. Their parents gave them gender reassignment. I've seen kids who are 18 years of age on YouTube. Anton Daniels, he did a show about it. And on the show, it was this basically this trans person. They had titties, had a female face, but the thing was born a boy. You couldn't tell who. You could not tell the difference. You couldn't tell. If you saw that shit walking on the street and you were looking after a female with big, you would have thought that was a female. This is what happens when you try to serve the best interests of people who are idiots and don't know what they're doing. You cannot do that. Even on the conservative far right, a lot of conservatives, uh, they're way too right leaning. Way too right leaning. This is what caused a lot of the racial issues with the black community. This is what pushed black community being left because the country was too far right. So as the leader, you have to now think what's in best interest and what's really fair and in balance, and you have to create structure, law, objectives, mission statements for your community to follow. And that means you have to prioritize yourself. Now, where can this apply, right? This could apply into a relationship, right? Let's take that into what's a relationship. What's wrong with being a servant leader to a woman? The problem is that women, they lead themselves with their emotions. They don't know what they want or what they need. And if you don't give them law and structure and accountability, they can become chaotic in your environment. So when you prioritize your servant leadership style to a woman and you allow her to dominate you and oversee you, she's not going to think what's in the best interest of you. She's going to think what's best interest in herself. And you see it on YouTube. Go on your YouTube panels. Go on Anton Daniels. Go on the Peace channel. Go on Angry Man. Look in your real life situations. Look how crazy a lot of women sound. Even with good women who are ladies, if there's not a strong man to give her discipline and structure, she can eventually turn into something negative and bad. No problem, Pookie. Like, share, subscribe, and follow to the channel. Right? Let me look up what else is called servant leadership. Accepting others. Servant leaders strive to understand others' intentions and perspectives. Mutual respect, which builds trust and encourages open communication. You could do all these things under a traditional leadership style. A king who has control and governance over his land, or a mayor, or a governor of a state or a city, they can have control over their government. They can create law and objectives and goals in that society, and at the same time understand the perspectives of other people and the intentions of other people. But guess what's the problem with people's intentions and perspectives? It may not always fit into the agenda of the king. It may be negative in your society. Example, the illegal immigrants that came over here, right? Those illegal immigrants, they didn't have all, did they all have good intentions? And what were their perspectives? A lot of those illegal immigrants, when they came over here, we saw their intentions, right? Their intentions was to take over New York. Their intentions was to turn whole cities, whole states into gang strongholds. That was their intentions. So now, if you're serving leadership now, and you're putting the best interests of an illegal immigrant that's not part of your kingdom or part of your agenda of your society, that could destroy you. As opposed to a traditional leadership style. You have a certain mission statement. What's America's mission statement? You have to get to this country legally. You have to go through the processes legally to get here. Why? Because we don't want bad people who hate America to be allowed to benefit from America. Right? And America has to think about its own objectives first, what it wants, how America wants to govern. You understand? That's how America has to do it. It can't prioritize the feelings of the people of the land. Well, in America, in the context of America, right? America, we vote for who we want to lead us. You understand what I'm saying? And the prior election, and Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated on the 20th, on Monday, right? The people spoke for a more conservative America, right? But at the end of the day, a more conservative America is a more traditional America. See what I'm saying? Because that promotes traditional men getting control of their households and leading their households, and put more power back into the hands of the man where it should be, right? But basically, we have been having men run around being servant leaders, and then you have men being in a servant leadership style to women who don't know what they want, and it's never enough for women. That's why God put man, designated man. That's why God designated men to be in leadership of women, because men are more logical. Men can make certain sacrifices to do without. And because men are bigger and stronger, and we are smarter too, don't get it twisted. Men can observe and learn and be very intelligent about their environment. That's one of the powers of masculinity in men: observation and adaptation. Thank you, Ross. Right? So, that's why God designated man to be the leadership over the woman. Because read your Genesis of your Bible. In Genesis, it was so easy for the serpent to trick Eve to bite the apple. Why you think the serpent didn't go to Adam first? And by the way, Adam didn't eat the apple knowingly. Eve just came to Adam and gave him the apple and said, "Eat this." But even later on in the Bible, I forgot what book it was. It says that Eve was actually punished for biting the apple, and it wasn't Adam. But it did say that after that, that Eve can be redeemed and forgiven, right? So there's a reason why God designated man to be the head of the house and the woman to be the follower of that man. Why? Because men are more logical, men are more rational, men are more in check to can be held more accountable, right? We understand ourselves better. We understand the chaoses of the world. We understand violence. We understand we understand conflict resolution because we have to be. Women don't. Women are very chaos. And if that bigger, more powerful traditional style of leadership does not check that woman or put structure and consequences and accountability in play, she gonna do what the fuck she wanna do. Like what she's been doing, like how women have been doing. Look at first wave feminism. Before first wave feminism, you had a women's suffrage group. Look how dangerous they have become. The women, and we always like to put it back on the man. When it's the women talking. I say it's the men's fault for not paying attention and to just reading it off as this women that's talking BS. I say as far as that. But it's not 100% the man's fault. The women are the were the ones protesting about feminism and having the rights to vote. That was Susan B. Anthony. Go look up your women's suffrage group. These are white women jealous of white men who were in power. They wanted to have the same power as the men. A lot of these white women, they studied the Bible they studied Lilith, a demon that rebelled against God and Adam in the garden. It was feminism that pushed uh, second and third wave feminism. It was feminism that women that agreed to men playing in women's sport. Remember, the issue that women have with men playing in their sports, women started that. And when traditional men came out to say, nah, you can't do that, those men got canceled off the show. Why you niggas want to forget certain shit? Wasn't it not black women pushing for single independent? They don't need no man. They pushed to be able to have the power to vote. And by the way, the reason why they did, I'm not going to say it tomorrow on another live, but the reason why black men were given the power to vote before women is because most of the white women during the Democratic South, they were Democrats. And because what would have happened is those women, those white women who outnumbered both black men and black women were given the power to vote, black men would have never been able to have the power to vote or be Republican. So that's why. So that's the U.S. government acknowledging the power and threat that women can have if you give it to them or if you allow it. See what I'm saying? And a lot of men of the boomers, I say they failed because they bent the knee to first wave feminism. What the boomers should have said, okay, cool. We're going to give you the power to vote. We're going to give you the power to own land. We're going to give you the power to do this. But if you ever use this against us, we're going to take it back from you. We're going to give you a consequence for doing it. But no, second wave feminism came. Third wave feminism came. And all these women, they push what? They push Marxist leftist ideas. They push LGBTism. They push all these things. And the reason why they pushed all these things is because it went against what traditional men stood for. All of this was to spite traditional patriarchy. Because traditional patriarchy, it outlawed LGBTisms. It outlawed weak men. It outlawed weakness. It outlawed women that were being promiscuous. This is what happens when you become a servant leader. You serve the best interests of women or weaker people. You see what I'm saying? You give weaker people power. And when weaker people in power, they create a weaker society. America is a perfect example with the left. Look at that person, I forgot her name, that was wearing purple hair in the Senate meeting. Look at all these weak ass dudes you see running around. Look at these weak ass women you see running around. Don't want to cook, don't want to clean. A lot of these young dudes don't want to go out there and be a traditional dude. You serve the best interests of weak people become the standards. And the standards, weak standards influence society, and society becomes weaker. Whereas when you're a traditional leader and you're in power and you're strong, it sets a stronger standard for society to follow. What's a traditional standard for men? Fight, protect, provide. Create authority, law, and structure. You feel me? No weak men. You have to be a certain criteria to speak on certain things. You have to remember, a lot of traditional standards was that a man had to be intelligent. You have to know how to fight. You have to be well rounded. You see what I'm saying? You had to dress a certain type of way. You had to dress proper and dress righteous. If you were broke and you were unintelligent, you couldn't speak on certain things about men. And what did that do? That encouraged the weaker men to strengthen themselves to get to that level. Now that we're in a servant leadership thing and we're serving the best interests of weaker people, those standards that made men and women strong, because in order for women to get that strong type of dude, she also had to compete and do things. Now that that's there, women could just be beautiful and lazy. Now that it's easy for men to get box, men can just walk out the house in basketball shorts and be broke. See what I'm saying? And second, traditional leadership does encourage growth. Because in order to be the head nigga in charge, you have to do what it takes to be the head nigga in charge. Building trust. Traditional leadership builds trust. See, the problem is that traditional leadership doesn't accept others. It doesn't accept everybody. Because traditional leadership says what? No Gibbon-ism in our society. Men are men and women are women. And we see those things as weakened. Women have roles, men have roles. Men are the authority, women submit to that authority. Women cook and clean, men protect, provide, and put their life on the line. If you don't live up to these standards, you don't get a guy that's a protector and a provider. If a man is not making a certain amount of money, he's not willing to protect and provide or fight, he doesn't get traditional woman. So traditional leadership, it doesn't accept everybody into the house because traditional leadership is based upon biblical texts, Bible, conservatism. And God doesn't accept everybody. He lets you do what you want to do, and you have free will to live your life. But at the end of the day, if you don't live up to what God say is a good human being, he will not accept you into his kingdom. Go read your book. That's why this is why this is why you want to argue with me about how women are just an illusion of power and they're just pawns. They're pretty fucking powerful pawns. You have rooks, you have knights. See what I'm saying? And women have been used as a tool to manipulate society into being into this weak servant leadership style shit we've been in. Because if you can use women to manipulate weaker men. See what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? So let's look into some of the other leadership styles that we have here. You have transformational leadership. Leadership inspires and motivates employees to work for the team's betterment. Authoritative. Leaders set clear expectations and make decisions independently. Perceptive. Leaders seek input from their team members before making decisions. Transactional. Leaders use incentives to motivate employees and penalties to discourage them. That could be traditional, right? Bureaucratic. Leaders establish a chain of command, define roles and responsibilities, and have set rules and processes. That's like a government, like America, right? Visionary. Leaders inspire employees and earn trust for new ideas. Servant. Leaders prioritize the well-being and the development of their team and members. Coercive. Leaders demand immediate compliance. Pace setting. Well, there's a bunch of leadership styles, right? Like, let's look at this one, all right? A traditional leader, as far as a traditional leadership style, what has traditional men never put into consideration of the well-being of their women and their children? See, traditional men, they put the well-being of their women and children that respect them, that follow their instructions and submit to their leadership. See, what happens is that women want to be disrespectful to a man and expect that man to keep being providing and protecting her. That's what they mean when they say being a servant leadership, putting the well best interest of that woman before you, which is happy wife, happy life. They want that women want to be able to disrespect a man, uh, and still have that man be of service to her. And they also expect not to do anything in return to earn that man's service or earn that man's leadership. See what I'm saying? A lot of times women, like, they don't know what they want a lot of times. See what I'm saying? Now, no, don't get me wrong. There's some women who are more matured and learned that have figured out certain things that they want, but at the end of the day, their emotions override them. You feel what I'm saying? And when you're in a servant leadership style to a woman and you put her best interests above yours before you, all she's gonna do is drain you of your energy and you're gonna be angry and miserable. She's not gonna respect you for that. But when you're now in a more traditional style, right? And you prioritizing yourself, your objectives and your goal, you're not even gonna deal with that woman in the first place. Because she's not abiding by your objectives and your rules. Now, when she is abiding by your objectives and your rules, because guess what? In a traditional leadership style, it promotes the traditional leadership style. It promotes employees that are effective and working towards the goals of that company. It always has. The problem is that with a traditional leadership style, you have to work for your spot to earn your spot. That, like I don't see nowhere in society where a servant leadership is going to be beneficial when it comes to a company and when it comes to a relationship. Because now imagine you're a Shake Shack and you're a manager and you want to serve the best interests of your employees who just out there don't know shit about your company. They haven't put no work in, they haven't learned about the business, anything, and you're serving the best interests of them. And say they just want their intention is to go in there and do what the fuck they want to do. How is that business going to thrive? It's going to collapse. One employee wants to run Shake Shack by selling Whoppers, when Shake Shack is supposed to sell Shack Steak or Shake Stack. You feel what I'm saying? No, because the team is not gonna. The team doesn't have a mission statement. It's a team of different individuals, personalities, and mission statements. See what I'm saying? What is the traditional leadership style? It's our objectives and our mission statements, and you hold their team members accountable to the mission statements and the goals and the objectives of that team. And when the team is when people of that team is respectful to that organization, they will be rewarded. They will be compensated. as they're supposed to be. See, the problem is that what men have allowed, and not every man has allowed this, weaker men have allowed this, right? Weaker men, I don't even think weaker men are in the majority, right? Um, Weaker men have allowed women to trick them into a servant leadership style, which is why so many problems are being caused in relationships and in our society today. Because now, don't cross the phone, cat. Jump down. My cat's gonna walk across the screen. That's my cat. Anyway, um, click like, share, subscribe to the channel. There will be another video I'm gonna drop tomorrow. I'm gonna review something that I was on a panel with, and that's gonna be heated, right? Every time I start talking, my nose starts getting stuffed up. I don't know why. Um, but yes, weaker men allowed women to gain power in society and run, and damn near almost ran the ship into the ground, bro. Dead ass. And the ideas of women. And the reason why they allowed certain women from feminism to do that was to destroy, because the whole idea behind Marxism and the left is to destroy masculinity and patriarchal structure. And patriarchal structure is linked to capitalism. You feel me? I see where a lot of racists of the past from Jim Crow, your mistake was not allowing black men to be part of America's capitalism. This is why it was so easy for the Marxists and communism to get them, because you pushed them over there. You pushed them over there. You pushed the women over there. If black men had been able to have a traditional, yes, that's leadership, to control and have power. That's what that is. If you don't have control or power over your environment and the people in it, now you don't have to retract that, Ross. If you don't have control, if the king does not have control over his environment and his kingdom, right? Chaos ensues. People steal from other people. People rob from other people. People delete other people. I do agree that environment is important. Environment is very important. I'm not saying that we shouldn't care about it. You can have a balance of both. You can be a traditional leadership, have power, control over your environment, and still make sure that the environment is taken care of and the people are taken care of. Therefore, the people will take care of you. See, I'm not for a dictator type of leadership, traditional leadership. I'm for a fair, balanced type of leadership. The problem is that men have always been in traditional leadership, have always been fair and balanced to women that have been respectful to their leadership. Always been. When a man dies and he's patriarchal, his woman is going to inherit his wealth, his money. A lot of women today are living off of their great-great-grandpa working his back off in the fields. See what I'm saying? No. What I was saying about black folks, if America had allowed black men to be part of the traditional patriarchal space, America would have been a lot stronger today. And the left would have never had a weapon. No problem, Ross. Ross. The left would have never had a tool or weapon to use against traditionalism. Because what happened was, you didn't allow black men to participate in capitalism fair and righteously. So they ran to socialist and they ran to communism and Marxism. And Marxism just used the idea of LGBTism, used the idea of feminism, use the idea of all inclusion just to go against, to weaponize the black community against patriarchy. Why? Because patriarchy doesn't accept those things in their house. That's all that was. See, traditional leadership, it has power and control, and its objectives with this power and control is traditional men, traditional women. Traditional men can do A, B, and C, and can't do B, and C. Traditional women do A, B, and C, and they also can't do E, F, and G. You understand? So that's what that is. And because America is a big powerhouse in the world, all that was just to destroy America. And to tap resources from America to supply everybody else. Right? A shout out to the Angry Man because he brought up servant leadership. And I thought Angry Man was just being Angry Man when he talked about servant leadership. You know, Angry Man, he's an intelligent OG. He comes up with certain things. I didn't know it was an actual term with an actual definition to it. Right? So servant leadership style is basically happy wife, happy life. You feel me? That's what that is. And men have to break that. Black men, you have to break that shit. You don't put the best interest of the woman of your woman first. You put your best interest first. Because at the end of the day, as a man, you know how to check your emotions. You know how to check the things you're about to say before you say it. You're more logical and rational. You can be held accountable, more accountable. And that is your designated position as leadership. You cannot run from it. I don't care what pro-black want to say. I don't care what Nation of Islam Negro want to say. No, when you educate a man, you educate a king that can lead a nation and turn that nation into an empire. The nation is the mother. The men are the fathers of that nation. If the nation is the mother, then the men are the fathers, the leaders, and protectors and builders of that nation. And that nation is to obey and respect the leadership of their patriarchs and their fathers in that house. But see, a lot of pro-black niggas, you want black men to be not patriarchal. You want black men to be servant slaves. And I think the Nation of Islam is just hiding from their patriarchal power. So they put their women in front because they don't want to be a target or keep being a target. Because if you come out and you say, oh, Nation of Islam, we're patriarchal, that makes you a threat to the gynocracy. That makes you a threat to feminism. And I thought the Nation of Islam didn't bow down to white women. You complain about black men dating white women, but you bow down to feminism and white woman's construct? Are you afraid to be patriarchal? You're gonna let your black woman lead and conquer you and be a head of your nation of Islam over you because you're afraid of what white women think and what gynocracy think. But you don't like a black man being in a relationship with a Becky. No, you don't like a black man being in a relationship with a Becky because the Becky actually treats him like a patriarch. That's what that is. That's why white men don't like black men dating Beckys. Because the Becky actually follows the black man's patriarchy. But the Nation of Islam don't teach black women to follow the black man's patriarchy and how he wants to run things. But you don't do that. That's why the Nation of Islam has failed. Because you stop putting energy into the man's leadership. And I'm not saying you shouldn't put value into the woman and respect into the woman, but you can't respect the woman without having the respect of your man first. But anyway, this is Kishore Gaming Nation. This live wasn't going to be long. Um, yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Black men, break that servant leadership style bullshit and become patriarchs. Become traditional men again. Oh, and to be traditional, you need money and power, bro. All that broke nigga shit in 2024, kick that bullshit out the window. money, capitalism. I'm out.